I want to talk about money laundering. We had a guy on here recently, Evan Kale. He's
Yeah.
Pawn Man, right?
Pawn Man, baby. Check him out.
And he kind of put me on to what I guess gold can be used for when talking about money laundering. And this was interesting to me because I remember when John and I, DOA and I, started the metal merchant business, I had to submit paperwork for my business at the bank. And they made me sign some affidavit about anti-money laundering. So it's the AML Act or whatever that I had to like basically confirm to them that I'm not using this business to launder money.
Okay.
And I thought to myself, how would I even do it? Because I'm oblivious to that stuff. I never think about that stuff. So anyways, Evan explained that what he would do is he would take what his dad would do is take cartel money and exchange that money for gold coins or, any kind of numismatics at a coin show. So, peer-to-peer transaction like that. And he's buying legitimate stuff with dirty cash, right?
Yep.
Dirty cash goes to these people, never gets seen again. Then he takes these coins and then he can turn around and sell them as a legitimate business transaction. Yes. And there he's created a laundered money system. So that is interesting. So I just gave you guys don't do it. Don't do it. But I just gave you guys the
we are not held responsible for your federal charges.
Yes. And that's I'm going to throw that into the comments section or to the description section below. So the issue is that criminals can purchase precious metals with illicit funds and then later convert them back to cash. And this can be done through the sale of gold, silver, even jewelry, right? It can be done through pawn shops.
Yeah, that'd be a big one.
Dealers, right? Without proper due diligence, it's really easy to do, right? So, honestly, financial institutions, dealers, and regulatory bodies have implemented several measures to try to prevent that. But it's really hard to get everybody, right? Because it still happens. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a topic of conversation.
Wouldn't be a thing. Wouldn't be a topic of conversation.
Here's a little AI. AI does wonders, man. I love it.
In the house.
This is laundered money, guys. If you're listening at home, it's just a bunch of gold coins and $100 bills clipped to a clothesline. So just a little case study on this one is that there were Brazilian smuggled gold items like bars and things like that. They were from an illegal mining operation in the Amazon, and they were used as a vehicle for money laundering, right? So
what was that? Was a spring. That was a spring letting loose.
Dang, that sounded like a Chinese gong. So the criminals would trade this illicitly obtained gold in the international market to generate seemingly legitimate funds. And I believe that was happening even in Miami. It was happening here in the US, but it was internationally that they would take this gold that was illegally mined and they would exchange it. And it was all, typically, if it's involving illegally mined gold, then it's going to have something else attached to it, like guns, like drugs, anything like that.
Sure.
Not an uncommon thing. So next time
uncommon.
The interesting thing about gold, if you think about it, is you can have an ounce of gold. You have no idea where every last molecule of that gold was mined from, right? There's no way of really knowing.
Unless it's a buffalo.
Unless it's a buffalo, apparently. But there's no way of truly knowing, did it come from, some illegal mine in Africa? Did it come from some Jewish person's tooth from Nazi era? Because that's what they used to do. They used to pull the teeth. And that's how a lot of the Nazi gold came up. So there's no way to know where it came from, and it's sitting in your vault. And that's the crazy thing about gold. It's hard to trace.
It is. That's the fun thing about old currency as well, is you just don't know who held it.
Right.
You don't know. Yeah. It's really cool when you start going through even quarters, nickels, dimes, but Morgans and peace dollars, barber halves. Where were they?
Right.
It's cool to think about.
I was watching a show, The Greatest Showman. You ever seen that or that movie?
Mm-mm.
All right. So it's about, Barnum and Bailey's circus, right? It was P.T. Barnum. And when he was first getting started and all that. So this was, 100 plus years ago, back when Morgans were a thing. And people would buy tickets to a show using Morgan dollars. And so it was really interesting seeing that because, they used era correct currency in the movie.
Right.
So when they slapped down the
Gotcha.
Morgan dollars, I was like, oh, it's so cool to think about how that's how you bought things back then.
No
Like
doubt.
silver dollar. Kinda
This
cool.
this is what's cool about even pre 33 gold. It's I try and explain it the best I can, but that one, the $5 Liberty, it was worth $5. Okay, that's what its value is. The value today about $540. It's insane.
Yeah, that's wild, man. Check out the full episode on the Crucible Podcast. Link in the description below.